Welcome to Reconnected and Free, a safe space to explore, recalibrate, and come home to yourself. I'm Maya, your podcast host, and together we are on a journey of creating a life that feels true to you. This episode is for everyone who just feels constantly exhausted and tired. And it's also for everyone who just has those moments where you're like, oh, why can I just not move? Why is this super overwhelming? Why is this stressing me right now? What is wrong with me? Because those two scenarios are not normal. They are normal in the sense of that there are so many people out there who are experiencing such things in a similar kind of way, but it is not, in my perception, the norm of how life can be, how life should be. Not meaning a resistance to how it is and how it could be. We definitely go in this journey with acceptance, but just to actually honestly look at it and open the space, open kind of the door to, hey, let's peek through this door and see how you can feel better, how you can feel more calm, relaxed, and how at the same time, with this calm inner peace inside of yourself, you still get to do things instead of being stuck, you know? So moving with a good feeling instead of getting held back, feeling stuck, feeling tired, feeling anxious, whatsoever. So in the first part of this journey, this podcast episode journey, I want to take you with me. Let's start directly with the mornings, okay? When you somehow can't get into the energy of getting up later, just getting important things done. And later in this podcast episode, we'll also talk about, but what can I do in those extreme situations where I'm just freezing, where it's urgent, where something just hits me and I just can't react in a way that feels good for me. How can I get myself out of that situation? So to understand you a little bit better, because I feel like it's always important that we get to understand ourselves better, and that I don't just tell you certain tools. We also get to practical tools, and just first to understand yourself better, I'd like to get a little bit deeper here with you, and you can just see what of what I'm saying resonates with you and can go into this journey if you choose to deeper on your own and figure out what is your truth. So this is some kind of information, inspirational. When you feel constantly tired in your life, it can be that you just have habits that aren't like beneficial for your body, for your mental health. It can also be that just in general something, when you really tune into it, feels off, feels kind of wrong in your life, maybe your life in general, maybe just something specific that isn't yours. Maybe you're walking in a direction at the moment, taking a path that is just somehow not yours, speaking from different levels. Your soul level, this is not your purpose, this is not the life purpose you came here to fulfill. That's not what you came here to experience, to remember yourself, to express yourself, your true self. It can be on this journey that, and that's the other level that I want to talk about, that you just went into a direction with your life or with a certain part or area of your life that isn't what is really true to you in your inner self, what you wish for, what you want, what you are in your deepest, truest version interested in, where you're drawn to, but you just follow what other people told you, expectations, maybe also influence. I at this point want to, and I need to do that again and again, point out how influenced we are by our surroundings, by media, meaning social media, how that might also lead us to make certain life decisions because we are comparing ourselves with others, only seeing parts of their lives and not the whole thing. Someone can just show some so-called highlights without them showing how hard it was to get there, what they're actually struggling with, whatsoever, and we just compare ourselves with a version, with a side of someone they are showing us in the internet. We're also, of course, influenced by the people surrounding us, which can be beneficial, and in most cases isn't that beneficial. Remember that it's said that you are the sum of the 5 people you spend most time with surround you, because we are just always, as humans, influencing each other also unconsciously and naturally. It can also just be where you're living, which like kind of influences which kind of what you experience on a day-to-day base. And that's just so many factors. And also, of course, the childhood we are influenced by unconsciously, and that's the point where we often can also feel so stuck because we don't know what is holding us back, because we can't see it, because our brain is wired, our brain is programmed in a certain kind of way that we are not aware of. Remembering that you, like as your body, as your brain, always try to keep yourself safe, and safety means what has worked in the past, but the past just got you here where you are now, which you can be super grateful for, because you are still here, you are still alive, and that's what matters for your system. But what got you here will never bring you to where you want to be, because therefore you need to expand your capacity, you need to expand your comfort zone in the end. Speaking about the unconscious, what can also be worth looking at is your not direct past, but your past in the sense of your ancestors' past, because even there can be threads that are like holding you back, that are making you tired, that are somehow influencing you. To get back to that physical tiredness of the body, there are of course such things as creating more rest in your life, which is the easiest kind of way of just optimizing kind of your sleep, going to, for example, at the same time to bed every day, maybe also getting up. That can also be different for men and women. For women, it can be that they need more sleep than men. It can be that women need more sleep than men and can then need sometimes more sleep, other days less sleep, and then it can be less beneficial to get up at the same time when it is possible in that lifestyle. Of course, that's not the easiest to implement for everyone, but going to bed at a healthy kind of time where you still have enough sleep, and before you go to bed, just not use your phone or any kind of screen for at least some hours. Don't eat too late. Try to unwind with, for example, lowering the lights, making the light more natural, warm colors, getting comfortable, feeling warm enough but not too warm, having a good airflow where you're sleeping, and just when it gets to unwinding, to kind of silencing the brain, it can be helpful to just anyways lie down already, to go through your day backwards, to remember your favorite moment, to see what you're grateful for today, and then maybe even to do meditation to fall asleep, maybe sleep hypnosis, maybe sometimes sound can help you to not hear your thoughts. Like, I see that long time not as the best solution to during sleeping have sounds on, because that's just another kind of keeping the brain busy. We need those silent times, but just when it's really urgent, that can be something that can help. And then when you get up, same again, no screen. I figured as a woman, it is so helpful for me to just start slowly in the morning, to give my body and my system the time to adjust to the awakened world, to get up, to take care of myself first, seeing that I'm dressed warm enough, that I feel comfortable, and that I also just get early enough food and not wait too long with energizing my body with a nutritious breakfast. But even before breakfast, there's something we can do, and this is just one thing that can change so much to give you that little boost into your day, even though when you wake up tired, let's say, even though you did those things, even you still had a difficult night, you dreamt so much, there's so much going on in your life at the moment, so you just wake up again and again, what it is. But let's just not carry that night and that restless night and that tiredness into the day. Let's try to switch that in the morning, making the conscious decisions. I do my best to start energized in the day for myself. I want to show up for myself, and I choose to feel good. It's first a decision and an intention, bringing you in the right direction. And then you can, I explain you how I do it. I sit up slowly, and then I do a breath work. And breath work is the number one tool that has helped me so much on my journey in different kind of situations, life phases, and so ever, where I just choose whatever regarding to what I need. When I wake up and I feel like I uh, need energy, I make an energizing breath work. I do them most of the time actually over YouTube, like guided ones. So then it's just like arriving in the here and now, grounding yourself through the breath, and then it's just like more active. So it's deeper breath work, for example, it's faster breath work, and yeah, breath works that can even make you feel like super active, like awake, and some can even help you feel warm, and that already changes so much. And it's literally 5 to 12 minutes minimum, and these minutes, I think, are so worth it to invest. And once you have done that breath work, just don't lie back down, but instead just get going. Just get out of bed and start into your routine, start into your day. Make it easy for yourself. Prepare as much as you can the day before already, so you don't need to think or do unnecessary things in the morning. And that can then already change so much. What also helps me is setting then in intentional for the day and find something I'm looking forward to. When it's a day where there is like lots happening, when it's a day that potentially like can make me feel exhausted, I already plan on the day before, because I prefer to plan my days the day before, so that I just have that safe frame for myself. Because never underestimate how important creating safety is for yourself, for your well-being, and for your calmness, because it is helping your nervous system, which is such an important part of us, influencing our well-being in so many aspects. So whenever it's possible, make sure that after a day that has the potential to exhaust you because there's much going on, there's something happening out of your comfort zone, you know yourself best, those situations that can take a lot of energy of yours, so that you already know that in the end of the day or whenever later that pauses, you have nothing else to do. You can just do nothing in the end. That nothingness can be so helpful. Either just really being in silence, recharging. Recharging can also be through something you love doing, just, where you have like whatever brings you joy or brings you in some kind of meditative state. That can also help a lot. Meditative state does not need to be sitting down and getting into meditation, but it can also just be a task, a monotonous task, where you just completely get into and forget your surroundings and you're just one with that. And that's so underestimated, definitely. So it's about that you already create that space of rest for later that is prepared, that you can look forward to, and that then recharges you, because you need to be, I know it's a path there, but in the end, to look at that as I am worth it to rest and to recharge, and not recharging with the motivation of afterwards being able to do more again for someone else, something else, or whatever. No, to just see, hey, I'm worth it no matter what I do, no matter how much I do. I'm just worth it because I am. So I can also allow myself to rest. I need to allow myself to feel good inside of myself. And that's just the point here also with the coming home of this whole reconnected and free journey of this podcast and my Instagram, that we create that safety and that calm, cozy, welcoming feeling inside of ourselves, which I call the home within yourself, where you just feel good and can enjoy life, can therefore have the fundament to do the things you love, to create that life you want without running into exhaustion, without feeling miserable, without just living for someone else. No, this is your life and you're here for a greater purpose, and you're here to take care of yourself and just being able to experience this life fully. So it's about the mornings and the evenings, but what happens in between? So first, we got that you can take breaks or a break during the day, and breaks can give you so much energy back and give you that calm, good feeling inside of yourself, so you feel less tired, or like not tired at all anymore. So this is working on with the tiredness that is already there. As I said, important also to go deeper to find the roots of the tiredness. But for what am I doing in the moments during my day? How can I use my breaks to really recharge? And I say again, it's not being on your phone. And it's also, if you're like me, more an introverted person, it's not being with other people. It can be being in nature, being fully present, experiencing something joyful. And it can also just be if you also maybe have pain, or if you just really feel like you can't do anything and you get tired, you feel like you need to take a nap. Good that you feel that. And I personally don't recommend naps, because you easily fall into that sleep cycle of 90 minutes, and you don't have 90 minutes most of the time to rest during the day, and everything you cut off before can also just be harmful, can make you feel more tired, and it can be so hard to get up after the 20, 30, however power nap called minutes. What I figured works more for myself, and I've heard from other people too, that is yoga nidra. Yes, yoga nidra first sounds, when you have never heard it before, like yoga, like something active, but it is actually not. It is that you just lie down, and then it's like guided. So there's like an audio, there's super nice playlists also on YouTube, for example. By the way, for those practices that I'm recommending here, the breathwork, the yoga nidra, and such things, I have made playlists on my YouTube channel that I will link underneath this podcast episode. I link the link to all my playlists on YouTube, so you can just see what is there fitting for you to have an orientation. Of course, feel heartily invited to find your own stuff. I just shared with you what is working for me, which videos from which people, so you have an orientation, you have an easier start, and don't need to search something, because that's like the worst. I feel like when you're not prepared, you're just exhausted, just like, oh, I now need to type in yoga nidra and try this out, and this is so much effort. No, just click on that link. You have all you need there. It's so important. That's another big lesson I've learned in my life so far. Make it easy for yourself. When you can prepare something, as I said, with for your morning or for your evening, planning your day, but also with such playlists, with such kind of emergency helper for acute situations, acute supporter kind of. So yoga nidra is you put on that audio, you lie down comfortably, you need to be warm enough, uninterrupted, and then it's just some kind of audio where you like close your eyes and you oftentimes just go through different parts of your body that you focus on. It's a calm voice. It's oftentimes also with nature sounds or calming sounds in general. She's also talking in a calming, nearly whispering voice. And it's a way how your body can relax easily, and you'll be surprised once you try it out how, what a like miracle it can be, how different you can feel after these few minutes, also compared to a nap. Just a little advice, because I learned it the hard way. Better set a timer a little bit longer than the video. So like better like an alarm that you will for sure get into the awakened world again, because either you can really fall asleep, but most of the time you just feel like you're asleep, you're like really resting, and you just need to have that anchor that you get up in time kind of again to continue with your day. So this is something I figured really important. As I said, also make sure that you're really uninterrupted. This is just your time. This is a gift for yourself to recharge, and how precious this is also how it should be treated. And before we continue here, one more tip to the yoga nidra. When it's new to you, sure, I recommend trying out the shorter one first. The shortest I think I have in my playlist and have found is 5 minutes. That's like the absolute minimum to like get into it. Just don't expect too much to happen or big change to happen with 5 minutes. It can be, for me personally, that I feel that I'm really getting into that relaxed state. It takes 15 to 20, depends on my condition and state, sometimes even 30 minutes, 40 minutes to feel super, super rested. So it is helpful anyways. I just say don't expect too much from, especially when it's just a short amount of time, and see what it does to you. Experience it, expand that experience, but just don't jump maybe into a 40 minutes when it's your first time yoga nidra. Don't overwhelm yourself with that. Make it slowly. That's also how I like got into meditation. I started like with 1 minute and then expanded it until I could sit there when I was good trained, like for roundabouts 1.5, 2 hours, not completely the whole time focus in meditation, but you just, what I'm saying is you just gotta practice it, and you just gotta do it again and again. Don't expect anything from you. Just see this tool as the blessing it is. Try it out. See this as your safe space to recharge for yourself. It's not about being able to be super focused or do the longest yoga nidra that they exist or whatsoever, because that would already be like more action goal driven. No, it's just about gifting yourself this relaxation. So these are different things how you can figure out and manage kind of your stuck energy, your like kind of tiredness. There's for sure way more. Just want to keep it with this for now, as I also want to go into this second part of this journey, which is those urgent moments. And here also, especially speaking for highly sensitive people, as I'm a person who's just like really sensitive in my perception and in with my senses. But I think also people that aren't that extremely sensitive have those situations. You know, when I had that the other day, I think that's a good example that you can also put on other situations. I had that the other day that whether it's at the supermarket or in the city, but can be for me most of the time. Imagine being in the city because you got some different shops to go to, you got stuff that you need to organize, to buy, you have your to-do list. And after getting some things done, you're still in the city, have some way still to go, you just suddenly feel super exhausted. It seems to hit you the moment that you're just stepping out of one shop, the moment that you just take a moment of a break, checking your to-do list, checking your phone. You feel like, hey, somehow I feel really empty. Somehow I don't know how to continue this situation, how to continue doing all of this. But, you know, oftentimes there's no way around of continuing because it's planned. You have a deadline, you have places to be at a certain time, things are important. You can't just like stop. Like maybe you can stop sometimes completely and continue it another day, then that's awesome. Just go home, stop, and spend a recharging rest of the day. Do whatever feels good for you, as we talked about earlier in this podcast episode. But how often do we need to continue? And it's easy to fall into that functioning mode and to just ignoring consciously or unconsciously that you are exhausted, that this is too much right now, and you just keep going, and then maybe you have a breakdown later. Maybe the moment you are at home, the moment the weight falls from your shoulders, there's nothing left you need to do, you just start crying, you are super impatient, you get angry, frustrated, screaming, you just nothing seems possible anymore, and there's so much emotion maybe, or you just feel no emotion at all and super empty. However your coping mechanism is there, that's another topic where you can work on. But to stay on that level of that urgency in that moment when you're in that city or wherever place, and you need to see how you continue. So you need to somehow get back into your energy. And therefore I discovered what helps me is, for example, just taking a moment, going aside, if possible, into nature. If not possible, just not being in any kind of shop, try to distance yourself a bit from the situation. Physically, if not physically, then just make your senses less, put your plugs in, close your eyes, whatever you feel comfortable with, and focus on the here and now. Take some deep breaths, really deeply in through the nose, out through the mouth. even maybe sighting out, and just either you like you do some humming when you feel comfortable with that in public or in your whatever situation you're there in, because that's really good for your nervous system, calming it down. And the other option is that you just shift your focus on something you're grateful for, on something you love, going mentally into your happy place, to some kind of ocean place, garden, your home, whatever it is for you. You can also work with your senses, with having an anchor of, for example, a certain scent, or a certain thing you like touching, that you always carry around with you. And scents can be so grounding, because that's what it is in the end. In the end, you need to, with your tools, ground, like arrive in the here now, see there's no threat right now, acknowledge, hey, bringing this awareness and, just acknowledging, hey, I do feel overwhelmed right now. I do feel like this is not possible. This is what you're just naming your feelings and being like, okay, I got this. I am an adult. I need to take care of myself, because most of the time there is no one else to be able to help us. And then just to get ourselves back to ourselves, to our energy, to a little bit of recharging, so we can continue with whatever needs to be done. Hopefully you can only do the minimum afterwards, but it can already like give you such a boost to just get out of that situation, take some deep breaths, arrive with yourself, maybe like kind of hug yourself and be like understanding of, okay, this is when you're talking calmly to yourself, like you would talk maybe also to a child, hey, this is overwhelming us right now, this is overwhelming me right now, I can understand that is much going on, hey, this is really important to me to get done, and then getting back into that situation. So there are many different tools. You just gotta figure out what is working for you. If you therefore need an overview of those kind of tools and having that full kind of package of what you can do to prepare yourself for challenging days, how you can deal in such extreme situations, how you can take care of yourself afterwards, I can hardly recommend you my Instagram posts to that theme. I'll link you something, one of the posts in my description of this podcast episode, and then you get to my profile to one post, and then you can check also the other posts out to have that all visual, to have an anchor to go back to, have that information. Maybe that's easier for some of you who are more like visual types to go back to, instead of going back to this podcast episode. You can save that for later, so you have that accessible for yourself. Also feel free to comment what helps you in such situations. So we are a big community here to support us, to support one another, because I know many tools, but I don't know all of them. So you can just comment whatever helps you there. And also if you have a certain question, drop it here, drop it in my DMs, and I'm happily there, giving my best to answer your question with whatever I know about what you're asking about. And now, coming to an end, I want to be a reminder for you that this is a journey. This is a journey we are all on, where we are just getting to know ourselves better, where we are acknowledging what is working for us and what isn't, where I'm so proud of you that you are here confronting yourself with those topics, and where you are acknowledging that there is something not working, that there is something like that you feel exhausted, whatever it is, and that you're just like, hey, I don't accept this anymore. This is not me. This is not my norm. Let's try something else out. And this is already so much awareness, so much where you like are open for change. And that's so important and so beautiful. So thank you so much for these important steps. You're doing awesome. As I said, it's a journey, it's a path. Oh, my voice. Give me a moment. It's a journey, it's a path, I imagine it, lifelong path. I'm walking this reconnection journey because that's what it is in the end, reconnecting with your true self, reconnecting with that calm, peaceful energy within yourself, with which you can go through life, with which you can, as a fundament, create a life that feels true to you. And I'm working this journey for a while already, for some years. And of course, there are also challenging situations coming my way still. Situations where I need to use these tools, find new tools. And sometimes I am also out of capacity. Had that recently also again, that I was just totally underestimating how exhausting this day, even though it was a beautiful hiking day, but how it is exhausting, how this day can just make me feel so exhausted. And from one moment seemingly to the other one, I was like, wow, I can't do anything anymore. I still need to shower. I need to eat. I need to get back to my car. How? How? And that's when it can be so, so helpful also to be with another person, to inform the other person with conscious communication, how you feel like, what can help you, if they can support you in a certain kind of way, and still, of course, taking care of yourself. But when there's someone else willing to support you, being a helping hand, amazing, amazing. You just need to know that you don't need to go through this all by yourself. You can ask for help. Of course, it's also maybe sometimes the other person doesn't know how to help you. Gotta tell them. Maybe the other person just can't help in that moment. That's okay. We always got a safe place that we cultivate within ourselves, that we don't need to rely on anyone else. I'm just saying we're never alone. Also, that's why what our community is for, that we know we are all in this together, experiencing similar things that might express themselves differently through different situations, different life, different feelings, thoughts. But in the end, we need to more openly communicate with each other to be able to give help, but also to receive help, to allow ourselves to feel better and to receive. It's totally fine to understand a helping hand is needed here for me, and I allow myself to receive this, because you are worth it to feel better. And it is so beautiful when there's someone being there helping us. As I said, we're all in this together. So, verdict, there's absolutely nothing wrong with you, your system, your body, your thoughts, your feelings. It's all just trying to show you what is not for you, not what is not fitting for you, what is not working for you. And it's all just trying to help you. It's just up to you to make things work for yourself, to get yourself in a state that brings you back to calmness, to feeling content, which is a journey through your past, which is a journey with certain tools. As I said, it is a journey. It's nothing from yesterday to tomorrow, from today to tomorrow, that is gonna change like everything. Give it time, give it your attention, and most importantly, be compassionate with yourself on that way. For your here and now, to feel better, to have a more relaxed, pleasant experience of what is, and to have that fundament, that energy and capacity to change, to have a life that is truly aligned with you, your inner self, your true self, the person you came here to be. Thank you for being here. Until next time, much love, Maya.